you very much. I had a mood swing there. Oh, thank you. Thanks, honey. Oh, thank you. Okay, be quiet. We have such a good show today. I'm so psyched. We're going to have so much fun with our guest, Jennifer Tilly. And our other guest, Al Sharpton. I can't wait to get into Al Sharpton, so that'll be good. And I know you asked me questions, so I'd like to answer them. If you remember, go. Who's got a question? Hi, what's your name?
My name is John, and I'm from Chicago.
Hi, John from Chicago. What's your question?
Well, first I wanted to say you look fantastic.
Oh, how nice of you. Thank you.
And I wanted to know if you...
I owe it to plastic surgery. What?
If you were a guy, would you be willing to have sexual relations with Monica?
With Monica Lewinsky?
Yeah, that Monica.
That would depend on your definition of sexual relation. Who's got another question? One more question. Yeah, go.
Darlene Moore from LA. If you had one wish, what would you wish for?
If I had one wish, what would I wish for? 100 more wishes. Pretty smart. Yeah.
My name is Solomon
Hi,
from
Solomon.
LA. My question is, what's the meaning of Roseanne?
What is the meaning of Roseanne?
Interesting.
It's an Indian word meaning Jewess with her own talk show. I hope that's what you meant. Any other questions? I got time for about 2 more. Yeah, you.
Would you ever have sex with another female?
Would I ever have sex with a female?
Yeah.
Again, that would depend on your definition of sex. Okay, that's it for today. And we'll be right back, so stay tuned. No. The ditzy blonde in Liar Liar. She was so funny in that. And she was the ditzy brunette in Bound. And the ditzy redhead in Bullets Over Broadway. Let's take a look.
You're allowed to have things. It's called ad-libbing.
You can't do that.
I can do that. What do you know? You don't know nothing. Shut up and read.
I think the whole thing stinks,
I think you're a degenerate zombie. Shut up and read.
Shut up.
You shut up and read.
Just shut up.
You shut up.
Please welcome Jennifer Tilly.
Your show like on TV just so to make sure I didn't clash with the furniture. And I thought that it's just a really short period to walk over here, but I didn't realize I had to walk all the way down the hallway in silhouette, and this dress is really tight at the bottom, and so...
Oh, those shoes are killer.
And the shoes are killer too.
Oh, show us those shoes. No, show those shoes.
Where's
Look
the camera?
at those shoes. They're awesome.
Thank you. But I'm like, really, I don't want to do dangerous things anymore, so I was thinking when I was walking down the hall, I should have worn something more short that I could move around in. But now I'm sitting down, and I feel quite safe. But then they told me later on I have to walk into the kitchen, so stay tuned. Could get exciting.
So you cut your finger. You're trying to hide it, but I want what? Tell us what happened.
See, I have this clever flesh-colored Band-Aid around it.
Yeah, you can hardly tell.
Yeah, it's so. I thought they would think. I thought they would think I was like Uma Thurman in Cowgirls Get the Blues, that I just had a very large fleshy finger. But you caught me out. You're very observant.
What happened to you?
Well, okay, it's a long story, but I know we have time. I was making guacamole for my poker friends. And usually my friend Michael, my platonic friend Michael, makes the guacamole. We have a whole system. He's usually the first one there because he's always trying to hit on me, like before everybody else gets there. But I guess he just finally gave up. And so everybody was there except Michael, and I thought, well, I'm just going to make the guacamole myself. I'm not helpless. This is the 90s. A woman can make her own guacamole.
Yeah, damn it!
And I had just been walking on the Trackmaster the other day, and I was watching Martha Stewart, and she was showing how to make this really good avocado salad. And she had this method that you can get, I don't know if anyone's seen this, you can get the pit out of the avocado without damaging the avocado. And what you do is you swing the knife really hard, the pit sticks to the knife, and you pull it out, and then you have a perfect, beautiful, undamaged avocado. But like an idiot, and I was showing off in front of my friends, I wanted to show my culinary skills. I'm holding the avocado in my hand. So I'm like, Michael's not here, I'm gonna make the guacamole myself.
Oh my God.
And it bounced right off of the pit. They're really slippery, which Martha Stewart did not say. Missed the avocado together, went right through my finger. And then, of course, being the drama queen that I am, I fell on the floor. I went, and it was like, oh, now what? And blood is like squirting out like a geyser.
God.
And my friends are going, Jennifer, what is going on? And they said I should, my friends are really smart. And so they're good people to have around in case of an emergency. One of my friends was screaming, hold your hand above your heart. So I was like, And then my other friend just goes, apply pressure. So they came running and put pressure on my finger. And what they did is I heard that Freddie towels are like the best towels in the world. They have this really high thread count. So they grabbed one of these like $1,000 washcloths and wrapped it around my finger. And then they called the emergency and we rushed off to the emergency. And this is like the really odd thing. I got strangely happy while we were in the car and everybody...
Well, losing blood does that to you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It
starts to affect your mind.
Have you ever lost blood?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And your mind was affected?
Yeah, I started getting strangely happy. No, so what happened at the emergency?
Well, okay, so I got to the emergency room, and I'm holding this big bloody towel, and I'm all surrounded by all my friends, and I'm feeling quite loved, and everybody recognized me. It's like, there's Jennifer Tilly. Look, over there, covered in blood. And I was really happy because Art Luna had just cut my hair that afternoon and blew it out, so it was all fluffy. So I was holding onto my towel, and I was twirling my hair around, like feeling really glamorous. But I didn't realize, because I did a photo shoot the day before, and I had eyelash glue all over my cheeks from crying. But I thought I looked adorable, and everybody was coming to look at me. And so, of course, when they asked my age, they said, and they're like signing me in, and they go, how old are you? And so I gave them, everybody kind of leaned forward a little bit, because I don't think you're supposed to lie to doctors in case, you know, after you get over a certain age, like over the age of 30, maybe your heart, or you're I don't know, you have reactions to medication. But I gave them my fake age, just out of habit. And then, I had to check in, and she says, give me your passport. And I went, why? Why do you want it? She says, well, I have to have a copy for our records. And so then I had to say, well, I lied about my age. She yells, and everyone in the waiting room, she's going, ha, 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 she lied about her age. And everyone's like, oh, that's... And she thought that was very silly. So anyway, then we go into the waiting room. The waiting room, there's about as many people in the waiting room as it's in your studio audience. And they're all like...
But except for, like, with knives and stuff hanging out of them.
Yeah, like axes embedded in their forehead. Right. And they're all looking at me, and I'm surrounded by all my friends. Oh, because also the woman who admitted me, she says, you brought your entourage. And I'm like, no, these are my poker friends. Like, I can't afford an entourage. So all my friends were telling stories.
Keep talking. We're taking a commercial, but keep going. We'll be right back with Jennifer.
The severity that you would be taken in. And so anyway, one person went in, and then they said, Jennifer, and everybody glared at me like, you're not really hurt, you're just a celebrity. And so I was like scurried out of there, and we went into where the doctor was, and he was so cute. Oh my God. And I think he was attracted to me because he was rubbing my hand like in a way that I don't think was recommended in the medical manual. And so then, you know, when you were trying to be cute and your voice gets really little and small and frail, and I'm like, oh, well, will I be okay, doctor? And then unfortunately, my platonic friend Michael was there, and he's making all these jokes like, hey, can I help operate? I saw a show on the Discovery Channel, and he was like sort of ruining the romantic vibes between me and the doctor.
Hey, I have an idea.
Do you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that we should try to help you get over your avocado cutting fear.
What?
Because you know what they say,
Right.
get back on that horse as soon as you're thrown, get right back on the horse. So
And
let's
start
go in the
eating
kitchen
avocado.
and try it again, just so you won't get stuck in any trauma.
Okay, all right, but
okay?
you know what? After,
Okay, go that way.
oh my God, I'm gonna have moving furniture trauma. This is, I'm dizzy from lots of blood. Okay, but you know what? After I cut my finger, I went to my astrologer,
Yeah.
and she said, you know what? If you
Wait,
had come in 2
stop.
days earlier, yes. Stop! Roseanne said stop, and it's her show.
Okay, all right.
Is it where
They
it's supposed
stop.
to be? Because they'll go back if you wanted
no,
to.
because sometimes they just keep spinning.
You don't think we're too far to this side because this is my bad angle. I wouldn't want.
Can we go back a couple of inches?
Just a little bit this way. What?
Go back a couple inches. No, we can't. All right, here.
Okay. How much
try it
insurance
again.
do you have on this show? But
Here,
I'm not going to do it the Martha Stewart way.
Here.
I'll do it the Jennifer Tilly way, very,
Okay,
very
sit down.
carefully.
Sit
All
down
right.
so you're braced. You're braced.
Okay.
Don't hold it in your hand this time.
Are you going to show me how to do it?
Well, no, I'm just going to help
She's
you.
so mom-like. You're so
Here.
womanly.
Oh, thank you.
You know what?
All right.
You don't have like.
Don't hold it. Okay, wait. Okay,
All right.
come over here. Check this out. I have one of these.
All right.
Check
Yeah.
this out.
Okay. On the chopping board. See, this is really.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me get out of the way.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Show us.
This is just like the cooking show. I feel like Chef Emerald. What do they say in New Orleans? Hey, laissez les bon temps rouler. This is how I learned on Martha Stewart while I was walking on the Trackmaster, which is making me very hungry, by the way. Okay, this avocado isn't very ripe.
Well, that isn't anything
No,
exciting.
no, this is what Martha Stewart showed to do. This is what I did. Ha! Okay, now supposedly, okay, I hit it too hard. Okay, this is really.
Don't be. Okay, go away.
Hold on.
Go
All
away.
right, this is really thrilling television. This is what I'm going to do from now on. But look, the avocado isn't damaged.
Okay, sit down and be quiet. a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you because I have to sit down too.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are just.
I had avocado on my finger. I didn't want to wipe it off on your fabulous set, so I thought I would.
You are like you're really sexy and like. What's that like to be sexy? Isn't she sexy?
Okay.
I want to know what's it like to be sexy.
All
How
right.
come?
Let me tell you about sexy.
'Cause
Sexy to me.
I'm just a dork. I want to know what it's like.
Roseanne, you are unbelievably sexy. Roseanne? See, I think sexiness is just a personality because you see, there's lots of girls out there. They're very, very attractive.
I know, but
when you
you're
see them,
always
you wanna
playing.
change.
No, but you're always playing the sexy woman in all the movies.
Okay,
Like,
sexy.
How do you get? How do you?
Well, first of all, I have Rat, who puts like tons of makeup on. And then I have really good undergarments, like strong foundations, that helps, you know. It sort of like molds you. And then also too, it always helps to have sex with your co-star almost immediately so they're attracted to you. And then that comes across on screen. So, you know.
But speaking of sex with your co-star, now you're doing the weirdest movie in the world. You're going to be in Chucky, that movie Chucky.
Yeah, that was a little hard.
Did you have sex with Chucky?
You know, okay, if Chucky says that I did, you know how little men like to brag. Don't believe him. He might claim that he had sex with me, but according to him, he's boffed everybody in Hollywood.
Listen, here you are, an Academy Award nominated actress, right?
Thank you for reminding me.
And you were awesome, and
Yes,
I wish you would have won too.
Thank you.
You were great.
Thank you.
But now here you are. How do you follow up the Academy Award
I do the
nomination?
Roseanne show.
No, by starring in Chucky.
Okay.
Why did you take that as a role?
All right, when they first said to me, Jennifer, do you want to do Bride of Chucky? I did remember the fact that I had once been nominated for an Academy Award, but then I thought, you know what, it would be a real stretch. I played everything else to play a woman who turns into a doll. I mean, you've got Robert De Niro puts on 50 pounds to play Raging Bull, and you have people who, you know, have their teeth pulled and everything like that, but I thought, that is a real metamorphosis.
So you
to go
took
from being this to
yes. So you took the role because it was a challenge.
Yes, and I wanted to work with the director,
And the
Ronnie
director,
Yu. You know,
yeah,
he directed, he's one of those Hong Kong directors. He directed this amazing picture called The Bride with White Hair, which nobody saw here.
Because they just gave you a boatload of money, right?
Well, that too.
How much?
It's kind of embarrassing to do the movie, but I wasn't embarrassed to cash the check at all. I was like, you need ID with that.
Let's see if you should be embarrassed. Let's do a script reading.
It's a very
I'm gonna
funny
be
movie.
Chucky, but you know,
Okay, all right, okay.
All right, this is a script reading from her actual movie role as the Bride of Chucky.
Okay.
For which she was given so much money, it's just unbelievable.
Yes.
But we need somebody off stage to read the stage directions. Can somebody do that?
Absolutely. Tiffany's trail, a living room night. They enter from the bedroom. Chucky spots a heretofore unseen infant's playpen filled with myriad toys for toddlers. Barney, Tickle Me Elmo, et al.
And he has that voice too, Chucky. What the hell is that?
I'm not getting any younger. A beat? Are you gonna say a beat?
A beat.
Okay. That means pause in screen lingo. You know, Chucky, I still have the ring.
What ring?
Holding up her left hand, she proudly shows off an engagement ring.
This ring, the one you left for me. I found it on the mantle the night they killed you. I've never taken it off.
Oh, that. The one I got from Vivian Van Pelt.
Vivian who?
Vivian Van Pelt. I dumped her in the river, remember? That ring is worth $5 grand easy.
Understanding dawns on Tiffany. Yanking the ring off, she examines it. Inscribed on the inside are the words, "To Viv, with love from Tom."
You mean you never meant that this is in the movie where I showed that I had like a lot of range because I teared up a little bit and they did a close-up on me. You mean you never meant that we were going to get married?
What are you, nuts?
He laughs explosively.
You haven't changed. You'll never change. What the hell was I thinking?
Chucky is oblivious to her pain.
Now, the first thing we've got to do is get me out of this body once and for all.
Oh, you know when you were saying about how to be sexy on film? It's always good to try to like lean over when you're doing stuff so you get a good cleavage shot.
Get me out of this body once and for all.
Actually, I think I like you like this. This is why I tickle you. No, I mean it. You're kind of cute. You're just like a little baby. Isn't the little baby ticklish? Is he? Is he? Is he? You're laughing. You're laughing. Oh, I forgot. Never touched the host.
Yeah, I'm staring at your face when you have all this red stuff all over your eyes. What the hell?
Oh,
what
you know
have
what?
Got all over?
Did I put my hand on my lips and then put my hand on my
that's
face?
what you did,
or
yeah.
else that or I'm bleeding again.
No, here.
Brett! Makeup! Is it gone? It's gone. Wait, hold on. Is it gone? It's gone. Okay. Well, that was sort of. This is sort of. I think. You know, Roseanne, I think if we do any more of this, people aren't going to come see the show. I think. Isn't Roseanne great, Chucky? When we come back, Roseanne is going to ask Al Sharpton every question you always wanted to hear. Where's
So
my camera?
hurry back.
Hurry back! Well, hello, darling. Barbie, eat your heart out.
In the past, my next guest has been called outrageous, a publicity hound, a fraud, and a racial arsonist, whatever that is. But recently, he's been recognized as an important civil rights activist and serious political candidate. Please welcome the Reverend Al Sharpton.
What happened to Chucky's wife?
She's coming back, I should say.
Okay.
Me and her will be shopping
I see.
from a catalog later on in the show. So now you say, I heard you say that, you know, your hair was inspired by James Brown.
Yeah.
So who's sorry now?
Well, actually, that is
James
literally
Brown.
what happened. James Brown and I met when I was 17 years old. I was the leader of a youth group in New York, and his son, who was tragically killed in a car accident, was the same age as I.
Oh.
And when his son was killed, Teddy, he wanted to do something for a youth group in New York. So some disc jockeys introduced him to me. He kind of adopted me as his son. I came out of a broken home, so I kind of was looking for a father. And he took me all over the world, helping my youth group. So in '81, he was going to the White House to lobby President Reagan and Vice President Bush at the time to get the Martin Luther King birthday a national holiday. And he said, Reb, I'm going to take you with me. He said, but we got to do one thing. I said, what's that? We went to Augusta, Georgia. I heard somebody say this in Savannah.
From there.
And he took me by his hairstylist. And he told him, style his hair like mine. When they see him, I want them to see me.
Wow.
And we went and did it. And he said to me, he said, I want you to keep your hair like that till I die. So it's 20-something years later, and I'm still wearing my hairstyle. He's still wearing his. We're the only one in America that grooms our hair right.
Does it right? So this man just like took you, right? Just took you and gave you incredible credibility.
Well, he was awesome. You have to remember James Brown was #1 in the world.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And for him to take a 17-year-old kid out of the ghetto, nobody knew me, and invest in me and take me around the world, I learned more. He was like the father I never had. And he went up against the odds. He never would water his music down. He never would change. People would say, you've got to cut the band back. You've got to water the sound down. He wouldn't do it. And he lived long enough now to see everybody imitating him. So I learned from him that if you believe in what you're doing, stand by it and take the flack. But sooner or later, the world will have to give you what you'll do. And that's what happened to James Brown.
Right. I love James Brown.
Really?
When I was a kid, he used to be on Ed Sullivan. I used to like live for Ed Sullivan on Sunday, and I did a whole James Brown act.
Well, that's
so sometime if you bring him by, I'm going to do it for him.
Well, I'd love to do that.
I had my sister run out there with a blanket and throw it over. I'd walk off, you know, and then throw the blanket and run back.
Yeah, he used to do the cape with trees.
I love the
He still does it. He can do a show now that still no one can match him on stage.
No, nobody.
James Brown
Nobody
is
ever
awesome.
will either.
No, nobody. And I think he's one of the true heroes that people do not give the real credit for, because a lot of what we call modern pop music came from pioneers like James Brown, and they don't get credit for it.
And a lot of social stuff, too. A lot of social change that came out of the 60s, he, like, was the first sound of all of that.
No question about it, and he would put it in the music. And like I said, I mean, he helped the lobby even for the King holiday, which a lot of people didn't know. So I learned a lot from him, and I was real proud of him.
I want to ask you, you were 17 years old at that time?
Correct.
What is the age that you were at first when you first started to preach and go out?
I grew up a boy preacher. I grew up in the Church of God in Christ. I preached my first sermon. Somebody knows about Church of God in Christ. I preached my first sermon when I was 4 years old.
You were 4 years old.
St. John's 14th chapter. Let not your heart be troubled.
Who put you up to that?
Nobody. I felt that I was called to preach.
When you were 4?
When I was 4.
Wow.
And my pastor, Bishop F.D. Washington, was also a boy preacher, so he understood it. He gave me an opportunity. And when I was 10 years old, I was ordained, and I've been preaching ever since. My first calling and love is the ministry. I mean, what I do socially.
How did you know, forget all this stuff.
Yeah.
How did you know that you were called? I want to talk about that.
Well,
How did you know?
if you're 4 years old and you have this compulsion, this.
I just want to let you know that I feel that I had that when I was 3. I feel I got a calling at 3. So, you know, that's what I want to tell you. I totally want to hear it.
Well, when you feel you're compelled to do something, and it's in your spirit, it's in your person, and it's not natural, you don't know why, that's a calling. I mean, it's nothing spooky like a ghost comes out of the sky or Chucky's gonna break in your room at night. It's a spiritual compulsion, and that's what happened when I was very young.
Do you remember the first time you felt it?
I was probably about 3 and a half. I used to go in my sister's room and take all her dolls and line them up and preach to them. And my father would tell my mother, stop him, he's going crazy. But my mother said, no, maybe he's trying to do something. I would come home every Sunday from church and preach the sermon to my sister's dolls. And I would get it verbatim. You have to remember now, I didn't even know how to read or write at the time. So when I was preaching, it wasn't like I was reading a manuscript. To this day, I can't speak from a manuscript because I learned how to speak and preach before I learned how to read. So a manuscript kind of inhibits me. Maybe I should have learned from a manuscript. I should have stayed out of trouble.
No, you want to go from the heart.
But I preach from the heart because I learned how to preach from the heart. And that has been my first
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I used to preach too.
Really?
When I was 8 years old, I did.
Well, you're still preaching in a way.
I am preaching still, but I preached in the Mormon church.
Did you feel called?
I felt called for something else when I was 3 years old, and I remember the day that I got the call, too. And, I mean, you know, you don't want to really tell anybody about it because they do think you're crazy when you say, I was 3 years old and I got called. But I did, and I'm glad you said it because, you know what, I think a lot of people in this world know they're called to do something good, to do something positive when they're very, very young, but we never talk about it. But I did get mine at 3, and when I was 8, yeah, I went around, that's a whole other story, but I went around traveling for the Mormon church and talking about something that happened to me from which I was healed.
Well, I think
but my calling at
like
3 was about comedy, yeah, definitely. I saw that I was going to have a show, and it was going to be called The Roseanne Show, and that I was going to be funny, and I just, from then on, I was just funny.
Well, I think most people allow people to talk them out of their calling.
Right.
They allow the world to tell them, well, you're not equipped, you're not prepared, and people need to follow their calling and don't let the world talk you out.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go to commercial, but do I have to go to a commercial? Okay, I got to go to commercial, and then we're going to come back and talk to Reverend Al some more. If you're in the LA area and want to see my show, call 1-800-485-6885. Well, here we are back with Reverend Al Sharpton. And, man, the thing that I find really fascinating about you that I just heard about is you had about the most dysfunctional family of anyone that's ever lived. Oh my God. And when I read it, it like totally brought a whole new understanding of me to you.
Well,
how messed up is your dad?
Well, let me put it this way. I grew up, we had a very nice middle-class family, mother, father, sister, and I. And when I was 10, we had moved to Queens, which at that time was like a suburb of New York, doing very well. And then one day the bottom fell out. My father had an ancestral affair with my stepsister and left us. They had a child. And my mother and I and my sister had to move back to Brooklyn in the projects, grew up on welfare. And in many ways, I think that's what drove me to want to be something for my mother. You know, I guess it would take people from broken homes to understand this.
It's not just a broken home. I mean, your dad got your sister pregnant.
Yeah, but on top of that, it made me say that if my mother cared enough to try to keep it together after the pain she had to bear, that I wanted to make her proud. Right. And in many things that I've done because I wanted to vindicate the faith my mother had in me. And I guess in many ways wanted to show other people that you can come from a dysfunctional way or dysfunctional background and still function, which is one of the reasons why I never really was shaken by controversies I've been in, and I've been in more than most people.
I can see why I think that I can understand, coming from a pretty dysfunctional background myself, I can understand better.
And you've done well, look at you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's evident. And I think people need to talk about it.
No, it's a lot of hard work to overcome that stuff. It's very hard. And sometimes even when you think you've overcome it, you really haven't. And you're still, part of you is still back there as a young kid. And you get stuck in things that may not be the right thing for you to do. They may be like something that's self-destructive, but you can't tell. And you just have to keep working through it till you come out the other side.
With me, I grew up those years looking for a replacement for my father. And Adam Clayton Powell, a congressman, became one. Later, Jesse Jackson. And I really benefited because such great guys took turns and took time with me.
Well, all
which is
little
why I
boys
wonder
need
about,
to see strong men in the world.
But see,
Need
the
to see
problem is a
good
lot
men.
of them adopt bad images and negative images, and that's just as risky, because suppose if it hadn't been Jesse Jackson or James, but a gang leader, I would have went another way. So I think it gives you a instability that you have to try to stabilize, and it becomes difficult.
And I know that it's important to you, I can figure out, that it is important to you to be the man that would have made your mother proud and all that. You know what else? I'll just be real blunt with you. I also think I can figure out now why you stood behind Tawana Brawley like you did. And you've never said anything. You've never said either way.
I believed in a young girl, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people didn't. My thing is, she deserved the same chance to go to court as anybody else. Some people today are proud they stood with President Clinton. I'm proud that I stood with a young girl that nobody else would give a chance to. And I think people ought to stand by what they believe, if you believe it. I don't think you ought to fabricate anything, and I don't think that you ought to... I think what's worse than someone being fraudulent is to be a coward. And if I really believe something, I don't care if the whole world...
Was there any time in that whole thing where you, like, doubted and ever thought that you were hurting innocent people yourself by staying there?
I could not believe a 15-year-old girl would do that to herself and just make up something. I just couldn't believe it. Even when people would raise questions, I said, well, then tell me what happened. And I still say that. And just like the court said O.J. Simpson was not guilty, and a lot of people believe he was, those same people want me to believe the courts because of what they said. I have the same right to disagree with the courts that people do on O.J. Simpson. I mean, rights are rights, and I take the flak, I take the heat. How do I know? There's a case in New York right now, Abner Louima, where a policeman allegedly had sodomized a young man in a precinct. That's unheard of, stuck a plunge in his rectum. If the courts come back and say they don't believe it, am I then supposed to say, oh, he lied to me and worry about being sued? I feel that people need someone that will stand up for what they believe in, and that's what I want to do.
But don't you have, I mean, I feel the same way about a lot of issues too, but don't you have like some part of you that you hope and pray that you are not wrong and that you didn't hurt anybody innocent? You
have to believe that, and you've got to always try not to become wicked and evil yourself. You know, one of the big tests for me, Roseanne, in 1991, the young man was killed in Bensonhurst section of Brooklyn.
Right.
I led a march there for him. A guy came through the crowd and stuck a knife in my chest. He was a white guy, you know, in an area that was mostly white. Almost killed me, 2 inches from my heart. That's when I said, this is the test to see if I'm sincere. I went to his trial and forgave him, and I visited him in jail. Not for him, but for me, because if I become a hater, I'm no better than he is. And I think that that's what we've got to be able to do.
Why do we have such huge problems in this country, even talking about race, even talking about the stuff that divides us?
I think because we don't want to face it, and we demonize those that raise it rather than talk about it and resolve it. So if a Sharpton or somebody brings up race, we're the troublemakers rather than dealing with the trouble. Anybody that rides down the LA freeway or the New Jersey Turnpike knows there's a difference between people of color and other people. So to jump on me for bringing it up doesn't solve the problem. Solve the problem, and then a guy like me can go about my business.
You know what else, too? That totally takes me back to that whole thing of child abuse and incest and all the other things. Well, they want to shoot, you know, I feel like personally I was shot down because I came forward too.
Right.
Because they want to pretend that that doesn't exist also. Please keep talking about that, Reverend.
Well, I think we must talk about it because I will always say that the strength I had is in my darkest hour. If my mother could take 2 children on welfare, knowing what she had gone through and bring us through, then what could I complain about? Because a newspaper called me a name? That's light stuff. She took 2 babies and raised us by herself. So there's nothing you can write about to make me weak after seeing what a strong woman did for me.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. We're going to take a commercial and we'll be back. And me and Jennifer Tilly are going shopping. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
back with Jennifer Tilley, and we're going to do some spicy catalog shopping.
That's right, because shopping is what we do best. Besides lounging around and looking fabulous. Don't mind the studio audience.
No, just make yourself at home. I wanted to ask you about being sexy, though.
Right, yes.
Look, go through, like, I need to spice up my
Okay,
sex life.
Roseanne, let me tell you something. I used to shop in these catalogs all the time.
Yeah.
And at first, erroneously, I thought when you get one of these sexy lingerie catalogs and the stuff arrives and you put it on your sexy. But that is not what's going to make you feel sexy.
Oh, what?
I realized I was shopping in the wrong catalog.
Oh, really?
One day, I got this catalog, Fredericks of Hollywood, and a little known fact about Fredericks of Hollywood, in the back, they have men's lingerie.
Oh, man.
And I realized that's where you need to shop if you want to feel sexy.
Because it's like to turn you on.
Let me show you how it's done, Roseanne. I am the master of catalog shopping.
This is so cute. It's a Superman outfit.
I only had to dial one number because I have Fredericks of Hollywood on my instant dot. Hello? Yeah, it's Jennifer. Yeah, number 1. Yeah, the Superman.
Oh,
yeah,
they know
can
you,
I have
do
them
they?
as fast as possible? No, I don't want that overnight service. I want that 1-minute service. I'm Roseanne, and we don't have much time. Yes, now.
What are they? They're sending it? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Look at
Do you have a dollar? Do you have a dollar? Do you have a dollar? Hello.
Can you take the robot?
Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you something. These things look good in quantity. See, one Superman guy is good, but... Ooh, who's your buddy? I think we need Martini guy.
Call that one.
Yes, number 2. Yes, Martini guy. Yes, immediately. Yes, it's urgent. Can we have a rush delivery? I wonder who that could be.
Oh, my God. It's the Martini guy.
You take off your robe, too. Roseanne's the boss. It's her show.
Now, am I going to make one call?
No.
You're gonna call for another one?
No. These things go best in threes. Trust me, Roseanne.
Okay.
I know you're a married woman, but when you're
That's
somebody
why
like
I
me...
need help.
Okay, I think we should get...
That look good in black.
In black? Yes, we want number 3. We want it in black. Okay, immediately. Could you get the door?
Oh, God. That's so good.
I did that. That's my favorite part.
Want some grapes?
Roseanne, are you having fun? You
Yeah.
think you've got the hang of
I
it?
think I could.
You think you can order one of these guys for yourself? This bed's getting smaller and smaller. I don't want this show to ever be over. I think you should order somebody. You can
Okay,
put
I'll
it on
try
my
it.
account. Tell
I'll
them to put
try
it on my account.
Let's see. Let me see.
I can't talk with my mouth.
Which one should I get?
Did you tell him to do that?
I'll get this one, you think?
That
Okay.
looks good.
This one here's the one I'm getting.
That looks good.
Okay, it's just one on the speed dial, right?
Great.
Hi. This is Roseanne, and like I'm in bed with like Jennifer Tilley and 3 really hot guys, and I've never done this before, but so could I get a guy too? Oh, you missed it. Put it back.
Oh, no.
Oh, could I get a guy too? A real sexy guy in number 04389 right away. Blue velour. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm so nervous. Well, here comes my guy.
Roseanne, is that what you ordered? I think you ordered from the wrong catalog. Did you order from Hickory Farms? I don't know what you were thinking.
to be as sexy as me. You know what? I think we need an exchange on this. You can go back and come to give us a store credit. Bye.
Or faster! We'll be back with more with Jennifer Tilly and our three babes, so stay tuned.
You give me the water.
Okay. You know what? I'm starting to feel a little more confident, Jennifer.
When you get off the horse, get on immediately again. A wise woman told me that once.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and make one more call and see what happens. I think I got the hang of it now. Here, push this. Hi. Yes, it's Roseanne with a lot more confidence. Could you send me a real babe this time? I mean, the other one, he's cute. He is cute.
He's intellectual.
But yeah, he's an intellectual.
He can read.
But can you send me another really, really sexy guy? Thank you, right away. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye. Come in!
You rang?
Come on now! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do I have my right side?
Yes.
Thanks.
I'd like to thank all my guests today. Thank you for watching at home. Thank you for being here in the studio. Goodbye.
The Men Are From Mars Doctor returns tomorrow at 4 here on Channel 8. Get your own personal success seminar with best-selling author Dr. John Gray. From self-pity to unworthiness, learn ways to block out the bad stuff that's blocking your path to success. Oprah calls it Change Your Life TV tomorrow at 4, followed by News 8 at 5 here on Channel 8.